Everybody, it's Desiree and I am back with another process video. I am showing you that I'm using 3 scraps for my scrap bin. I don't know, I've been on a kick lately, but as I'm doing this voiceover, I'm realizing I didn't use 3. Those are only 2 scraps that I used. That basil cardstock was a fresh cut from a 12 by 12 paper. So I'm using my watercolors today, and the colors that I'm using are, if you go from the bottom to the top, it's that second row up. And it's all those colors except for that burnt orange. And then if you go to the third row, the last color that's closest to the white paper, I use that color as well. Now this is going to be, I'm going to be honest with you, this is my second example, because my first one was a trial, and I didn't put any gesso down. I just kind of watercolored a little bit to try to get the colors to match up with the pattern paper that I'm using. And then I put, on the second one, I put gesso down, and I end up not using that one right there, which is the second one. I go back to the very first one. And the reason why is I made the circle way too big, and the center of it is very, it still well, what am I trying to say? It's like, every time I do a voiceover, I get all tongue-tied. It was it shows the white background and from the paper, and I didn't like that. It was just too big. So I ended up going with the smaller circle, and really it's only the half circle right there, and I like that a lot better. So I gave you a thumbs up because I used my glitter paste, and I've never used it before. It's been in my stash for a while, and I actually had a thumb dance going on because I absolutely loved how it turned out. It's gorgeous. And yeah, so I'm like overly excited and just happy with the turnout. Okay, so here I am fussing with those 2 strips or 3 strips of paper. And when I was playing with those 2 scraps, I realized after I was kind of figuring out, like, do I want the turquoise to be at the top or do I want it to go to the bottom? I definitely didn't want it to be covered so it could add some of that watercolor that I did. I realized when I was kind of playing with them that I must have cut that strip of paper in the center for whatever reason a while ago, because I can't remember the last time I even used that paper, but because they lined up perfectly. So if I put them together and then I used that peach cardstock to put over it, the turquoise would be missing. And so I did not want that to happen. So like any scrapbooker, I am going to give you the illusion that it's a lot whiter than it is. And I'm just going to have a white piece of paper, or have them separate, and then have the basil cardstock going down the center. And then I don't know if I said this because I forgot. I've done so many voiceovers trying to correct this because I keep getting interrupted by my kids and I keep messing up. Oh my gosh. I fishtailed all of those papers, and so the 2 strips that match, I just angled it so it looked like it was one big fishtail, and then I fishtailed this one right here by itself. And I feel like that's a lot of fishtail talking going on. Anyways, little things that I amuse myself with. Okay. I had the indecisive finger dance going, which is quite funny. Next, I grabbed that basil cardstock again, and I'm going to mat it with that photo. And I'm going to grab a couple of the sheets that I have left that goes with this collection. It's by My Mind's Eye. It's the Sweetest Collectioner, I think. The Sweetest Thing. And I thought I was going to use that floral piece right there and just cut out the journaling so I could save it for another day. But then I realized it's just not the tones that are in that piece of paper right there. And so it would look like they were from 2 different collections, even though they're not. So I decided to use this striped paper, and that striped paper fits it to the T, and it's beautiful, and those are the colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that paper down in the middle of that cardstock, which I'm showing you right there, and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to go ahead and cut it. Next, I'm going to use my foam thickers, and I don't ever really use numbers. I mean, it is rare, and I have 2 sheets or 2 sets of those stickers right there that I got at TJ Maxx. And I am definitely not needing to save those for anything or any, for anything anytime soon. And so I'm going to use those to be my 3D foam adhesive for my photo. And next I'm going to grab the My Mind's Eye sticker sheet that I had. I only have 3 stickers left on that sticker sheet, so I wanted to so badly use all 3 of them, but it becomes a little too much. And it's probably, I know the rules of 3, but I just think because they're so big, it just was too heavy on my paper. So I only decided to go with 2, and I'm going to incorporate some other embellishments for my layout. This is the part, guys, I'm so excited. First time ever stitching. So there's the back I'm showing you. Yeah, I'm over the moon right now because really nervous, but I shut the camera off and I was like, okay, first time stitching, I definitely do not want this filmed. And I sat down in the TV and I just started, stitching, and it came out beautiful. I love it. It's just gorgeous. I was really nervous because I thought to myself, if I mess this up and destroy this whole layout, I'm gonna have to do this whole thing all over again, which I did not want to do. So then I grab my tab punch and I make a tab using that, oh gosh, like the company label on the bottom of the pattern 12 by 12 paper. And I have that little extra bit there that I could use, and so I used my punch for that. And that came out of my scrap stash, so I guess technically it was 3 pieces. And then I grabbed my crepe paper stickers, and I love those stickers. I think one of them is from a Maggie Holmes collection, and another one is from another collection. I don't know. But I'm going to use both of those. I'm going to use the adorable one right there. That's an oval shape. And then I'm going to grab these gold arrows and think, maybe I'll use cork arrows instead. So as I'm trying to think about that for a minute, I'm going to go back and put this embellishment up above. And I'm just trying to think, like, definitely this is where you want it, Desiree. I think yes. And hold on one second, I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to go ahead and adhere it, and I adhere it and it's completely crooked. It doesn't look bad when I put it on, but now that I'm doing this voiceover, it's so bad. And so I'm like, okay, it's crooked, Desiree, you gotta fix it. And I go to lift it and I'm like, ooh, I'm nervous that the paper is going to rip. So I leave it alone for a second, and I'm realizing it's bugging me, and I don't want you guys to watch 20 minutes of it irritating me while I'm trying to do this layout. So I shut my camera off, take the time to slowly remove it from my layout. Oh, we got my nice arm. Decided to make a little presentation. And yeah, and then I end up fixing it. So next I'm going to I'm going to grab my title. And so I'm going to grab some stickers that I think is going to go well. And I put it on some wax paper and I'm trying to decide which ones do I want to use. And I go with the darker ones because, let me backtrack a little bit. I think I'm going to go with the darker ones because it matches with the embellishment up on the top of that page. And then this one right here matches with the tab that I used for my punch. I decided to use these ones. I like it just because it's lighter. The cardboard looking ones just didn't go well, so yeah, I like these ones a lot better. I'm glad I did go with them. I'm going to go ahead and stick that down, and the title is going to be Always Together, and that's because, and I've mentioned this before, I mean, they fight like sister and brother, like any sibling, but when she came home, I think she was 7 months in this picture, and she was just playing with her little playmat with her toys, and her brother just decided to lay down next to her and play and kind of mimic what she was doing. And I love that. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but I have another picture that goes along with this story, but it's so blurry. And he used to have this dump truck that he could sit in and roll around all around the house. And so whenever his sister was in the saucer, he would park the car next and just sit on his car, and while she's in her saucer, and just talk to her and play with her and just totally interact with her, even though she wasn't mobile. I mean, he didn't care, and it's just a really sweet story. And I don't have it here on the video because usually when I get done filming, it takes me like probably several hours later from decompressing, like after I get done with everything, on what I want to journal. And sometimes it takes a day or two, and so you won't see it on the film. But basically, I just typed it on my computer, and it's in a very soft blush color, and yeah, and I just made little word strips out of it. Next, I'm going to grab my enamel dots, and these enamel dots, I just go with the same color as my watercolor and to add those in there. And so I'm not going to have it for the peach color, the real light ones. So I end up digging through my stash and found these old basil brads, and they're basically monochromatic color tones in like orange and pink, and so I grabbed the orange ones, and they actually have a nice soft peach circle brads that I end up using. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these arrows down, and that's it, guys. This is coming to an end. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I want to thank you to all my new subscribers, and for those of you who are new to YouTube that are trying to create your own process videos, please comment below, because I would love to add you guys and become a subscriber to your channel. I know how hard it is to get started, and so thanks again for joining me, and you all have a great day. Bye!